Is January 12th, 2025. Okay, today I did the video of all the people that got arrested off this. There's a lot more. Okay, I came home and I got my boyfriend and we went out to this one fruit market. Some little kid pointed at me and the dad said, well, we all know Karen's an FBI informant. Everybody listening today heard about people they got off this case. They were wondering why people were running around making fun of her. I'd like to know that too. See, last night at Bob Evans and Baldwin, I met my brother there. And there was people, I'm not going to discuss everything that was said on the other side of the divider where I sat next to, and you could hear them what they're mumbling. But they were even saying the people following her today didn't find it funny when they heard how poor she was when she was younger. No, it's not. Where they even had people over a month ago, they said they had people following harassing me because they told people I was spoiled. Why would you harass somebody? You know who's spoiled? The people that are doing this. Spoiled, entitled, rich people hurting other people. They're the ones that are spoiled. Now, as a victim, I would like to know why you're harassing me. Why? I'd like to know why. Because like they said, none of this is funny. Like on January 5th, 2025, where on December 18th, 24, the agent over my case came in and announced he let all this because happen, and he told him he didn't care what they did to me because some girl named Michelle lied to him that I threatened her. Find out it's his daughter. Then you gotta have common sense. I never even laid my eyes on him until that day. How would I know who his kid is? Exactly. And when she did show up in January or February of 19 at Faith Family Church trying to scream out that she dates Dave, my husband, and I didn't believe her. She looked 14 to 16-year-old old, and she looked like a teeny bopper. And he was 60. See, this is a whole big. And Officer Marker John, I do need you to go to the U.S. Marshals. Now, when you actually realize how many people they got off this, before I start into everything else, when Dave and I lived at Lenox, they had a show about FBI informants and people that work people's cases or set up meetings. And then the government moved them, changed their name, gives them money to live on. Okay? And they said, the government would rather wipe out those other people's crimes and forgive them and take care of them and protect them. So they got the bigger drug dealer. Okay? One couple, the one guy just set up a meeting with some drug lord. Got an undercover agent in there to meet him. Okay? Then they got them out of there. Had them change their name. And gives them, I forget how much money a month. Because they relocate them and they said they'd rather the government wipes out people's crimes, gives them a new identity for them either helping out with the case or getting information or setting up a meeting. They had a whole thing on FBI informants. And this one couple, they were making, what was it? It was like 10, 15,000 each. They looked like they were the very wealthy, rich and famous people on a beach somewhere where they set up a meeting. One guy set up a meeting for this undercover agent to meet this drug lord or big drug dealer. Then the next day they got him out there, wrote up their testimony, moved him. And then how they wipe out people's crimes for their participation in a case. give them a new name, identity, and then the government takes care of them. They do it all the time. They do it for their informants. And then all these other cases of their informants that they helped out in cases. Same thing. Either got them information, got a meeting with someone or something, and they got big arrest off of it. And these people, how much money they were getting per month from the government for the rest of their life. They do it all the time. Okay? Now I want you to think of this. Where I called the FBI hotline, they drug me up so bad I can't answer the phone. I go to voicemail. By the third day, I made myself get up. Sit on the front porch. What's wrong with me? I feel drunk and I don't drink. Enough air on my face. Called one of my witnesses. I gave the hotline. Went out, bought a card, put that agent's number from Apostolic Church. Need to start over. Put that agent's number from the agent's number from the voicemail where I called the FBI hotline. Okay? I had called the hotline the next day. The agent called me back. We'll have our agent call you back. Okay? I called the FBI hotline. Next morning, the phone's ringing. Let it go to voicemail. I can't wake up good enough to answer it. Wake up later, even had to hold on the wall to go to the bathroom, go to the refrigerator, got back in bed, listen voicemail. And I said, I can't. And I just fell back to sleep. Rivers of tears running down my face. Okay? Second day, not much better. Third day, I made myself get up. I'm sitting on the front porch. I feel drunk and I don't drink. I Googled it. It's a sign of a date rape drug wearing off. Okay? Makes you sick. Got enough hair on my face. Called one of my witnesses. I gave the FBI hotline. How to get a hold of witnesses that knew that church was saying they were trying to have me killed. Said she'd witness for me. Go out and get a card. Put that agent's number that returned my phone call from the FBI hotline in it. Dropped it off at the mall. Went up to Apostolic Church of Barberton. Paul Pamer got in Dave's face. My God, I had an FBI agent. My office was right there. I walk off. Women walk up as he's screaming at Dave. How dare you bring the FBI up here with threats on her life? In front of hundreds of people. Women walk up, he knows she's being drugged, beaten, raped. And he said he didn't care. I'm covered in bruises. I lost 18 pounds and severely infected. Been almost passing out in front of people. My heart sinking in my stomach where I thought it was the dirty well water giving me cancer. From just showering in it. Okay? Go in, sit down. They follow me, sit down behind me. He knows she's being drugged, beaten, raped. And he said he didn't care. And he says, strangest baby lie of faking you were sick when it was a medication or medical malpractice. And if she was going to be mean to women, he didn't care what they did to her. And he was going to turn her back over to him. Can you imagine an agent saying that? Dave comes in, let's go. Get out in the truck. He threatens to kill me himself, goes for a loaded gun. I put my hand on the console, and he punches me all the way home. I almost jumped out on the highway. Okay? Ran from him when I got home. Okay? Next day, I called that agent back. I told him someone told on me. He calls me a liar. Okay? I tell him about the guy that threatened to knife me at Giant Eagle. He calls me a liar. Found out he's a serial killer. There was a warrant out for him. I tell him he tried to kidnap me before. And before I can say Terry covertly seen him, he's like, oh, come on now. He said even if a church person seen him, they would never verify it. Well, she did. I've met with that family in my office and all those church people. What'd you just say? I know they're trying to kill you because you were faking you were sick and faking you got well. Well, that family was grieving. Hmm? Hmm? Conspiracy to commit murder is a federal crime and attempted murder is. So why didn't you arrest him? Exactly. Why didn't you arrest him? I said I really was sick before. You liar. Was there a camera about the bench or not when you heard that guy's voice? I don't know. Dear God, I almost passed out when he came up behind me and threatened to knife me. I was already dizzy when I sat down on the bench. And he walks up and says that, and I almost passed out. I catch my breath, and I turned my car in front of the bank, into the bank, got in front of someone. I stayed alive. That was my job. Your job was to find the camera. Okay? I said, I don't know if there was a camera. He's like, then you better say you're lying or I'll put you in jail. And I'm like, what? He said, I'll arrest you. You hear me? I'll put you in jail. I'm like, what? He said, you either say you're lying or I'll put you in jail. There's badgering laws. You have to take a victim, a witness, or an informant statement if you believe them or not. Department of Justice 1729. Okay? I said, I don't know. And if there was a camera, you say you're lying, I'll arrest you. It's like, fine, whatever. Ha 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 ha. All the cops know he told on me. They have the copy of the recorded line. Because it's protected custody cases with statements. Even police in uniform have acknowledged they all know he told on me. There was police up there when he told on me. And they all know he said that shit. Okay? He's like, now I want you to say you were faking you were sick before. I almost fucking died from medical malpractice and medication errors. And thank God for all my family physicians that told on them how bigger crackpots they were, and it took me 9 months to get well. Okay? I'm like, I really was sick before. Now I've met with that family in my office and all those church people. And I know they're trying to kill you because the strangers lie to cover up Tim and Katie. 6 months later, after a traffic accident I had nothing to do with. They had nothing to do with the 6 to 10 surgeries I had, my muscles locking up. Going to a bunch of crackpots, falsely diagnosed me, made me swell from my feet to my brain. Seizures. I had so much swelling, my knees were popping out of place, going to orthopedic doctors, having my knees drained. Turkey-based syringes of fluid. I had that much fluid on my knees. That's why my knees were popping out of place. I was having many heart attacks. Thyroid, adrenal gland shut down. I was dying, and they were lying that I had level 2 pituitary tumors. They had it removed from my brain. And thank God they told me how big are crackpots. They were known for making people sick, getting kickbacks for drug companies, lying, falsely diagnosing people, and doing unnecessary procedures. Get an attorney, sue them, turn a state to pull a license. You're not the first one, the only one that have done this to. It took me 9 months to get well. It's documented medical malpractice and documented medication errors. Okay? In the middle of me getting well, started in November of 2002. By April, I'm almost well, because it was the medicine making me sick. May 3rd, 2003, we're all at home. Brian had to show up and tell us how Phil ran a stop sign into a semi, killed him and Tyler both. Okay? Had nothing to do with it. Wasn't even there. Come July, I finished getting well. Come November, 6 months later, half a year, my sister Linda's married to strangest kid Tim. She was out one day, caught him with Kate. So when he went to leave, she was following him. She came up to me in November of 2003, said I was following him again. I got caught. I think they thought it was you. I'm sorry. Be careful. I'm like, great, thanks. Well, he made up that shitty lie and got rid of me real quick. Had nothing to do with the Vegas. Nothing. You know, here it is January. If somebody dies in January, come July or August, somebody makes something shitty up on somebody, it has nothing to do with the person that died in January. Get it? They've been trying to use their family's tragedy to manipulate people, and it's sick and disgusting. And even the baby lie doesn't even have anything to do with them. It's so stupid and moronic. Okay? Now, getting back to what that agent said on a record line. Why didn't say you were faking you were sick before? Well, it's ridiculous. I almost died. I said I really was sick before. Now I met with that family in my office and all those church people. And I know they're trying to kill you because you were faking you were sick and faking you got well while that family was grieving. And 6 months later, they were already going on vacations with the inheritance money they gave them. And they were already rich to begin with. They were vacation for weeks and months. So I don't want to hear it. They weren't grieving. Get it? They were vacationing it. It's not like they couldn't leave their home. And 6 months later, or half a year, made up a shitty lie on me that had nothing to do with it. And them trying to twist it around. Like my one neighbor, Becky, it's insanity that they would even want attention out of that. Somebody making up something mean on you and it had nothing to do with them. It's insanity. It is. And that agent saying, you need to realize what you've done. And I don't blame him for trying to kill you. He actually said that. Like an investigator said, I listened to the recorded line. I almost fell out of my chair. That agent actually said that. Another one said I came up out of my chair. He actually said that. I know he did. He confessed several times. He met with everyone. Told on me for calling the FBI hotline. Okay? And all the police, even police in uniform, we all know that guy told on you. Okay? And I said, I really was sick before, you liar. You either say it or leave it there. I said, but they'll kill me. So they've tried to kill me. So he's aiding and abetting attempt and conspiracy to commit murder. He's already told people he was going to defraud me. Makes me beg for my life and says, you either say it or I'll leave you there. I'm like, fine, just don't let him kill me. Ha 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 ha. Jackass. Laughing at a drugged up rape victim. That's how sick it is. Why would the FBI help a person like you? Well, they're going to try to kill me. So, they've tried to kill me. So, what are you doing being a cop then? The other agent yells out, the drug dealer, when my ex-husband told people to hire Pete on his own. Pete's a local, as investigators call him, an old drug dealer from Ravenna. That's why I was sick, throwing up, infected, giant bruising. I've never met him. Severely infected. He was human trafficking me out of that house. He was drugging me for fake confessions. I found out in his own personal stalking tapes. He had photoshopped me washing in the shower, illegally taping me in there, and photoshopped that in another room in a drug stunt, and was drugging me for fake confessions. I never seen or talked to anyone, and to find out sexual predators were raping me, and that's what was causing all that. and had to be seen by the doctor for giant bruises, muscle pain, migraine headache, throwing up, dizzy, almost passing out, and a severe swollen personal infection. And I thought the dirty well water I was showering in was giving me cancer and killing me. And to find out it was predators preying on me, what the hell were they laughing at? And running a stupid drug scam from drug dealers. It's drug dealers running a drug scam. That's it. Police will tell you it is. It was a drug cartel doing it. Okay? We could always use piece of tape, a word with yourself, where the cops even said they always knew it was a photoshopping of washing yourself in a shower. They took a shower scene of washing yourself and put it in another room. That's why nobody knew about it. Dear God, that would have been a 911 call. At first, you'd think somebody was joking around, and then when you realize they didn't know what they were doing, it would be, my God, they're delusional. Get an ambulance here. Be like someone acting like they're pooping in the middle of the room and there's no toilet. See what I mean? Like they said, even last year in Alliance, you think about it, someone acts like they're washing themselves in another room. First, you would think they're joking, but if we realize that they're doing it, they don't know what they're doing. It is a 911 call. Somebody's hit their head, they're delusional, or they have taken something and they're delusional, or having a seizure or something. It's a 911 call. But nobody knew about it because it was photoshopped. Like they said, it's almost like a mean teenage stunt, photoshopping, something like that. It's just clicking and pasting. I mean, honestly, they could take you showering, put you out in space doing it, put a spacesuit on you so you look like you're doing a funky dance. Everything's digital. I get tired of people acting like it's 1960 or 1970. And even in the 1960s, we all know about those amnesia drugs, people hallucinating, walking around. Now they got mind-controlling drugs and other amnesia drugs, a lot more. We all know what the hippies did, walk around hallucinating, saying stuff and all kinds of crazy crap. In the 60s. It's 2025. There's no excuse for ignorance anymore. Well, he said that, going back to the record line, that other agent, we could use Pete's tape. Now they're yelling about the rapist that Dave hired on his own, the drug dealer. Did arrest him for cyber stalking, illegal monitoring, sextortion, racketeering, rape, human trafficking. They arrest him. And they're talking about a man I've never met. The only Pete I know is my brother, Medina. I haven't seen him in years. I talked to him on the phone, but I hadn't got up there. Well, we could always use Pete's tape of Weird with Yourself, the shower scene of washing yourself in the shower. And I don't even know who they're talking about. I'm like, what are you talking about? Stop, she don't know. No, because it was photoshopped her washing by a man I've never met. And I went, what are you talking about? And then he says something else. And it's a black and blue mark. It'd have to be because I've never talked to him, never met him. Don't even know who he is. And he's like, stop, you don't know. He's laughing at me. And then he said, well, I bet you're going to say you don't know anything about this doctor selling your information. Like the cop said, we always knew. None of Kieran's doctor could even go in and talk to Will. That it was some guy impersonating a doctor. Worldman Hospital, December 31st, 23. They had some guy impersonate a doctor selling people's information. It's a HIPAA violation. Your doctor cannot speak to anybody without your permission. They can't testify against you in court. It's like attorney-client privileges. It's doctor-patient. Your medical records are not public knowledge. They're under the Privacy Act. You have a right to privacy, including your medical information. We don't live in North Korea. We don't live in China. We don't live in a communist country. We have rights. But I had some lady impersonate me and use my medical insurance for 15 years. And I've almost wondered if my ex-husband that married me to get a job at my dad's factory. I really do at this point. Because I was 18, he was 26, 27. He only made $40 to $80 a week working with John Cowgill part-time, and he was adopted by his grandparents. His real mom died of cancer. And his mom had Parkinson's, and then something else wrong with her that she shook and cried all the time. So he would spend the time with his Aunt Barb, or he would go over to John and Francis and sleep on the couch because he didn't want to deal with her crying and screaming and shaking. So where Tim, my brother-in-law, my dad gave Tim a job, he'd show up how he'd easily make $1,000 a week. And I almost wonder where Barb even told me, Karen, she didn't tell me till after we were married. I'm so glad he married you and settled down. I come home from wherever I was, and he'd have strange women in the basement having sex with him in my home. That's where one of my neighbors think maybe that lady that used my insurance for 15 years that I found out had 2 little girls and ran up, tens and tens. If you said that she used $100,000 over 15 years, probably more, of insurance. She went carry on my insurance, and we got stuck with the co-pays over 15 years. $2,500, $3,500, $1,500, $250, $750. You name it, they were coming in. Found out through a hospital where she had stayed, and she's seen doctors I've never heard of. Arguing with a hospital and found out she had 2 little girls. She may be a girl from Barb's basement. And was there, and they did this, so David have income. See, Dave was always supposed to work 12 hours or 16, but doesn't mean he did. You know what I mean? Go and work his 8-hour shift and leave and go out with her. My brother said, where Kay McMillan, the factory secretary, he said, I was standing there when she told him there was no way that lady there's no way she'd get the factory's information unless they gave it to her. There was rumors of him cheating on me as soon as we got married with a heavy-set, round woman. And that guys in the factory had seen him with her. I remember Pete saying something when we first got married. And I said, well, get me proof and I'll leave him. And he didn't get me proof. And yeah, so she probably was here before my marriage, and him and her just used me so David had money. Okay? His way out of poverty. Okay? His way out of poverty. Okay? It's really not funny that Michelle Lauren say that they're that lady's daughters. See, it's not, because there was a lady with 2 little girls that ran up all kinds of bills in my name and left me with co-pays and defrauded my insurance and defrauded me out of all that money over 15 years. Half my medical records are hers. The police have even documented my mom knew of her. Every union rep knew about her because they offered to go after the factory. And the factory looked right at my ex-husband. You either pay those co-pays or we'll put you in jail. And I said something to Dave. Dave's like, I'm always with you except for when I'm at work. Well, he didn't stay at work. Okay? He didn't stay at work. Got a lot of paid time off, and then There's other times he was supposed to be working 12 or 16 hours, and apparently he didn't, and he went out with this lady. Okay? All right. Well, he said something about this doctor. I went, what are you talking about? Well, no doctor of yours. Of course, this is a scam. Where December 31st, 23, Altman Hospital was saying no one's to talk to these people. My God, they had somebody impersonate a doctor selling her information. They'll get sued. The state could shut them down. There's HIPAA. A doctor talks about you to anyone without your knowledge, without your consent. It's 1 to 5 years, $250,000 fine, and you can sue them for $1.5 million. Okay? And here is just a scam. Well, I thought, well, maybe it was one of her doctors. You know? Because I'm like, what are you talking about? He's laughing at me. Stop. She don't know. Here's just a big scam. Okay? Drug confessions, photoshopping and washing people, impersonating people by drug dealers. Okay? And then he's like, give me a real reason. Well, I tell him about my brother-in-law, Craig, that died working for the government. He said, first of all, if you talk to any law enforcement about the threats on your life, I tell him about 2 Solly cops came out 8/8/18, lighting the security system. Told me it looked like an alien orb, angry spirit. Thought they were dehydrated. I offered them water. And then they told me to buy a dog and let a dog handle it. You're kidding, right? I said, no, they don't want bothered out here. Matter of fact, I've never even had my neighbors in my home. I've only had repair guys and installation guys. I don't know what you're talking about. Is that what's going on? Okay. Then he asked me a weird question of, do you know if Dave is cheating? Well, I have never caught him. See that thing with the guys at the factory? You didn't know if they were just making it up or if there really was a heavy set round lady. But then there was some lady using my insurance with 2 little girls. It probably was her. My brother never got me information or a picture of her. See what I mean? Do you know if he's cheating? I said, well, I have never caught him. He said, he tells some other guy. She said she never caught him. And he started laughing. Why is that funny? I taped Dave December 9th of 18 that I've never caught him with anyone. He admits it to the cops taped him. Okay. Then he offers to take me and leave me somewhere with no money. I don't have money to start. Then he offers me an informant program if you agree to get information on Dave and the churches. Okay? You'll have a life of peace as an informant. Nothing legally stated, dated against you again, and only for you would we ever do this for. Always put it back as if it never happened. You can't be legally charged for anything again for working this case. Okay? You'll have that money to live on. I opened an account today with $5,000 on it, and the money will go on that card. Do you know when you'll be able to come down and pick it up? I don't know. Okay, so it should still be in my file. So Officer Jodomark, if you go down to the Stark County Drug and Task Force FBI office in the courthouse, it should be in my file, along with the recorded line. The FBI Drug and Task Force Canton Courthouse. It should be in the original file. If you go get it for me, I appreciate it. Or have the U.S. Marshals. You need to have a long talk with them. Okay? All right. I said I don't know how broke loose after that. Okay? He said, you have that money to live on. Okay? admit to no wrongdoing, and I'll take care of everything in the end. But if you try to tell someone, no, no, I'll help you, and I'll list you crazy, he can't list me crazy, and he can't tell anybody, nobody can help me. I told the Stark County prosecutor, a guy from his office I knew, laughed until he cried. Tears. Massive tears. He even told me that if I had any problems, if I couldn't get a hold of him, the Canton police would always protect me. He said one of my best friends is the chief of police of Canton. He said he's a good man. And he said you can trust him. And he'll make sure nothing happens to you. Well, I told my friend from the prosecutor's office. It was amazing when I told him. And then we met to talk about it. We were at a McDonald's. Canton police cars, like a parade, drove around that McDonald's. Looked out, it was like a parade of police cars. He said his friend was the chief of police in Canton in 2018. He was a good man, a very good man. He had laughed how he cried when I told him what that guy said. He said, first of all, the police know they can't go along with any of that. And the only thing legal that agent did was list you an informant with money and immunity. And the police know they can't go along with him bullying you into false statements under threats. And he can't even ask you to stay quiet. I said, but he's already confessed he told on me. He can't tell on you. You can tell whoever you feel comfortable telling. Due to the freedom of speech, it takes a judge to put a gag order on you. He's only a higher police officer. The police know that. He can't put a gag order on you. He can't make up rules that he don't even have the authority to say, and it cannot be in a court order. No judge could sign it, they'd get arrested. The only thing they can do is put your money and immunity for working this case. And get the money for your part of working the case. And that's it. And he can't put restrictions on it that he don't even have authority to say. And the police know that. You can tell whoever you want. Karen, you don't realize you're in one of the many witness protection programs. And until the FBI puts you in another witness protection program, you will stay an informant for life. You get the money for the rest of your life for risking your life to get the government information. And they owe you. They owe you. And these people actually tried to kill you. They could wait and try to kill you again. You can never get out of protective custody your whole life. And that agent can't tell people they can't protect you. 14th Amendment, they can't. He cannot withhold my money either. 14th Amendment, he can't misdirect it. 14th Amendment, and he cannot withhold protection either. First Amendment is freedom of speech. Fourth Amendment, no one can be in your home but protected by cases with statements in a court order. And it can only be police and agencies, not a drug dealer running a drug scam on you. You also have the right to remain quiet and a right to attorney. Fifth and Sixth Amendment. These are constitutional laws that cannot be broke. You do realize that. He opened a case with money and immunity. That's why my fingerprints are sealed. He fed me to the drug cartel. Now, where you want to say he did this so all the drug dealers would confess to their crimes, you wanted an inside person take one of the people they're abusing, human trafficking, running a scam on. It's sick and demented. Listing them foreman. See, I thought I was going to get him information on Dave and the church people. My ex-husband that's trying to have me killed and his freaky friends. That's not drug dealers and human traffickers and drug lords. That's crazy crap. I would have said, hide me, federal agent. You hide me, you hear me? Dave and his freaky friends is one thing. I had no idea who was doing this to me. Got it? I got left in hell. Like I said, it's demonic, but effective. You wanted someone on the inside? List one of the people they're human trafficking informant with money and immunity, with a court order for protected custody, with threat of life with statements, for the police to legally bug somebody's phone, car, and home. And then it's legal police surveillance that stands up in court without them. And all these idiots laughing in my face, who they work for, what crimes they were doing. And they can't be disputed. It's effective, but evil. They got thousands, saved hundreds, and sacrificed me. Now, we're going to put it this way. December 18th, 24, when I walked in Walmart 62, the police taped this. Two guys walked in, first of all, and they said she has charges. Somebody else said that it was just the drug cartel. So we had someone call up to the Ravenna courthouse. It is just the drug cartel. There's nothing against her. Okay? Two other guys walk in real loud till you had to turn and look at them. Kieran never knew who Michelle was till January or February 19. No, I made sure of it. She told me she threatened her, and if she was going to threaten her, I told them I didn't care what they did to her. Well, what did that agent say at that church? I'm like, oh my God, that's you. I only talked to you on the phone. It's you. It's been 6 years. And she didn't know who she was? No, I made sure of it. And he said, I heard Karen's getting remarried again. I knew she had it in her. I told the drug dealer that bad that no one had ever won her after what he had done to her, that she's getting remarried again, and for him to leave her alone. He's in it with drug dealers. Okay? January 5th, 25. I'm in Walmart 62. The undercover police work my case. They're in there. What is this? They got a hold of us that another FBI agent had even lied to the U.S. Marshals. Where on January 20th, 23, I met with my friend out in Worcester, and where he had a friend on the police department. He showed up at the U.S. Marshals. And they were complaining outside about that agent leaving me there. And he said he left her there because she's weird with herself. Can you imagine? Who would care if she was? And it was probably them and not her. And he left her there. We'll take care of him. And they left. And boy, have they been taking care of him. Okay? Now back to January 5th of 25. What is this? We found out another FBI agent lied to the U.S. Marshals. That she was weird with herself. We always knew it was a photoshopping of washing yourself in the shower. And they had photoshopped her washing in the shower, herself in the shower, and put that in the other room. We already knew that was photoshopped. That's why nobody knew about it. We always knew it was photoshopped. We knew they drugged her and told her to say it before. And he's lied to the U.S. Marshals. The other agent over her case, we taped him that he let all this happen because he thought she threatened his daughter and she didn't know who she was. Does the FBI realize how not funny this is? They've been getting even with her because they thought she threatened one of their daughters and she didn't even know who she was. And now we got another agent lying to the U.S. Marshals. saying she was weird with herself, and it was a photoshopping of showering and washing herself in the shower in the other room. And we always knew it was photoshopped. We always knew. We knew they and told her to say it before. We always knew that. So, then there's common sense. We're January, February 19th. I'm in Faith Family Church. I showed up early, and it's a mega church. There's over 1,000 people seating. A bunch of teenagers come in. I look back as they're loud. One girl yells out, "I'm the one that dates Dave." I look back. She looks under 18. He's 60. Okay? And she points at me. I date her husband. And I'm like, I thought it was Michelle Cowgill, this heavy-set 50-year-old woman. And she was so mean to her first husband, and I was so good to Dave, thought it'd serve him right to get somebody that mean. Try to kill me for someone like that. Serve him right. Okay? And I'm looking, and I look back, and I thought, you don't even look 18. I look back, you don't look 100 pounds. Like, I look back, and it's like, she's running her mouth, and then how is she going to have anybody drug being raped? She just has to ask the guys. I'm like, and you're crazy and dangerous. I'm looking, you even look homeless. Dear Lord. And then she's talking. Now they call the drug cartel guys the boys. She's talking how she spent the night with the boys and she had their clothes on. Well, that's why they didn't fit. She had some guys' clothes on. And some of the guys in the drug cartel were short. They were like 5 foot. And she must have had one of the short guys' clothes on. And I'll tell you what, I didn't believe a word out of that girl's mouth. He's 60 and she's a teenager. That's where even the cops were saying, are they trying to set her husband up going out with a teenage prostitute? They thought she was a teenage prostitute too. And the cop said she what, 15, 16? I thought, well, yeah, that's what she looked like. One said I would have picked her at 14. Yeah, 14, 16, 90 pounds. And her saying she was already sleeping with a bunch of other men and spending the night there, and then she's supposed to be dating my husband. The whole scenario is ridiculous. I just sat there like, kind of thing. Like one of the cops came in Walmart. We watched Karen's face. She didn't believe a word out of that girl's mouth. No, I didn't. They didn't even respond to her. And if she showed up trying to pull the scam that I threatened her, she got no response because I didn't believe her. And I didn't know who she was. I didn't believe a word out of that girl's mouth that she was dating Dave. Not a word. She looked 14 to 16. He's 60. That's statutory rape. I didn't believe a word out of her mouth. And if she thought she would come in there and like try to start a fight or something, she got no response besides kind of thing. Didn't even say a word because I didn't believe a word out of her mouth. Think of that. If she thought she was going to come in and cause a scene, thinking she could pull her scam that I was mean to her, I never even laid my eyes on her till that day. Because what part of December 9th, 18? Dave said I never caught him with anyone. Did you not understand? They never caught him. There's no one to threaten. So your scam was already debunked before. Got him. That's why I just sat there. Now, Officer Marco John, you need to go to the U.S. Marshals. All the cops know it's photoshopping or washing yourself in the shower. How many times have they said it through the case? And they drug me up and told me to say stuff. I never talked to anybody, never seen anybody. I take a drink out of a drink the room and go dizzy and black. Wake up hours later with bruises, throwing up, heart racing, dizzy, and then a severe personal infection. I couldn't even go to the bathroom. Wake up with injection marks, the same thing, bruises everywhere. Go to the doctor. I thought I was dying. And I'm blaming the dirty well water I'm showering in, thinking it gave me cancer. These people even admitted they drugged me and told me to say it before, and then photoshopped shower scenes in the other room, found a white piece above the toilet in the other room, photoshopped all the lies, made everything up on me. It's a big drug scam from drug dealers. I made fun of everyone. So before January 20th of 23, these people already even confessed that from the first month of the case where that little white man showed up and said he worked for Dave, trying to lie, he used sodium pentothal on me and told me to say wrong nightgown and tushy lie. And Dave debunked it. I was dressed modestly and only seeing the back of my knees to other people laughing in my face in front of the cops. They drugged me and told me to say flasher stuff, weirdo stuff. I'm like, my God. And then you're supposed to hurt people. I'm like, dear Lord, I used to run to the bathroom and vomit or have diarrhea to find out people were playing with me that bad. And I never seen or talked to anyone. I literally would run to the bathroom. I used to spend half the days debunking their lies, and then I got tired of it. These people from May 25th, 21 to 8/9/21 to December 9th, 21, November 1st to 3rd of 21, January 19th, 22, February 2nd, 22, of drugs and told to Sam. Nitaframe me March 24th, 22, March of 22, February, March of 22, Pete ordered everything to be drugged, photoshopped, and made up on me. To March 1st to 3rd of 21, they put clips together to put her in a porn. It's not her, it's them. Then what you're describing is showering. Ha 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 ha. She figured out what they did. May 12th, 22 at noon. And May 26th, 22 at noon of the shower scene in the other room. Okay. To all the tapes before were them and not me, and it's just a bunch of men doing crimes here, December 9th, 21, and that they always knew the tapes before were them and not me. Back in 21, they were breaking, they drugged me and told me to say it before Memorial Day weekend of 21 in Louisville, screaming it out on the streets. February 2nd, 22, from Burlington Coat Factory to screaming at clear over into Canton that they admitted they drugged me and told me to say it before. They made everything up on me. Repeatedly. Eric, one of the drug dealers, made fun of everybody November 18th, 22. That everything was him and not me and done for a stunt for people to turn on me. Laughing at everyone. Danny and Jen on Christmas Eve of 22 didn't know anything about a shower scene, didn't know anything about button cameras. They knew I had bruises going up, heart racing, and almost passing out, but they did not know somebody was drugging me and beating me and telling me to say stuff. They were not part of it, neither did the kids or Danny. Josh already defended me and John on Thanksgiving of 18, that no one could say anything bad about me, that even his kids got caught stating they made everything up for Auntie Shell and Papa to get the house, and they were games to pretend on Thanksgiving of 18. They had a police that already caught Melissa telling them to lie. John defended me that they just make it up because I was going to move out and because of the divorce. And that nobody could say anything bad about me. She have her church people make up something too, but don't worry about it, Mom. Nobody could ever say anything bad about you. To Dave, within a day or two, Karen, you're good to the kids, you're good to the grandkids, you never hurt anyone. You're good to everyone, no matter who it is. I taped them. So the police. They taped all of them. And they also had Flora of ratting John's kids out in the basement. Of course, it never happened. Of course, it wasn't true. We made it up. They were games to pretend, laughing. To the police, also having a huddle in Walmart 62 right after Thanksgiving of 18. Why are they having those kids make all that shit up? They're just trying to scare her out of the house. That's it. We interviewed her whole family. They spoke highly of her. To June 23rd to July 4th of 21, what are these people talking about? We interviewed her whole family a long time ago. She's never hurt anyone. And the girls that dated the boys, oh my goodness, the boys had a drugger to make her say that stuff. To March of 22. or actually March of 23, that we told these people to stay out of this. We interviewed our whole family a long time ago. She's never hurt anyone, and no one's ever seen anything. It's just some lady thinking she can make money off of it. Another drug cartel thinking they can just run a drug scam and extort money out of people. You can't. It's called racketeering, honey. You go to jail for it. Okay? So when it came to January 20th, 23, they already knew I was drugged and photoshopped by a drug scam of the drug cartel, and they're already mocking people. They flat out lied to the U.S. Marshals. You might want to have a talk with them. I do not want to ever hear about a shower scene in the other room to make me look weird. As like they set up in Akron in 23, it was like a mean teenage stunt that went too far. Photoshopping a washing scene in the other room and roofing someone and tell them to say something stupid. But they were being raped here. This went way too far. September of 23, they were talking about up there. Did she do anything wrong up in Akron? No, the drug dealers already confessed. They photoshopped everything on her, made fun of the FBI for falling for it. Are they going to do anything about it? We don't know. But none of this is funny. Went to her ex-husband and asked him if they ever said it was a medication error that made her sick before. He said yes, and they did encourage them to sue those doctors for years. And he didn't say a word and let all those people hurt her. They made fun of FBI agent John June 7th, 23 and Walmart 62 and sold videos of FBI agent John would actually fall for a stunt on a tape before. Oh, come on now, that FBI agent fell for that. It was only a stunt. Had me drugged, beaten, raped, drugged up and told to say stuff and photoshopped washing. It's just a stunt to an occult and a cartel. And laughed at him and mocked him and sold videos of it. Now, do I ever want to hear of a drug stunt again? No. Except for where you turn them in. January 20th, 23. I met with my friend out in Worcester. He told me I got a friend out of the police department. They knew the case that agent opened with you. They knew about the Texas group involved in your case. And I'm like, the Kingsmen? Is that what they call themselves? No, I call them that. Because we all work for the king from Texas. We are his men. Dave hired us. He's a drug lord. Okay? Looked him up. He's a fentanyl king. Hmm? There was a retired judge in Texas involved in this human trafficking scam. They went down and questioned him. He called himself. There's another judge in another state. I think he said Louisiana. Okay? They know he's involved in this big nationwide human trafficking scam. They found 35 people tied up in a railroad car. African American people. They were just taking them and shooting them and throwing their bodies along railroad tracks. They're going to use that case that agent opened with you to get these drug traders that are human trafficking people. You have so much hurt and pain in your eyes. And then he drills me until I'm stuttering. I walk outside. The men follow me that were sent around me. Or the U.S. Marshals. We're going to take care of this. That agent actually left her there. He said he left her there because he said she was weird with herself. Who would care if she wasn't? It was probably them and not her. It was them and not me. Done as a cheap-ass stunt. A sick, cheap-ass stunt. Photoshopping by a drug dealer. A drug dealer did it. A drug dealer did it. We'll take care of him, and they left. He flat out lied to them. They had already confessed and were mocking people. Time he lied to the U.S. Marshals. He flat out lied to them. Now, if you think about the people that were here, the Florida group, the drug traders, they were even here in Louisville. Lori, my one coworker, her family member was taken. Um, she also seen the Florida drug dealers in the bars of Louisville. And when I found out her family member was taken by the guy in the white van, I didn't tell her how I knew, but I asked her, I said, "Do you see all the Florida plates, the big truck guys that were here from Florida?" She said, "Yeah, they were in the bars. Her and her boyfriend would go." I said, "They said they were drug traders." Yes, they did. "Did you know if Henry Murphy?" Sounds about right. He was with him. Show her the picture from Facebook. That's not him, but he was with him. I had asked her before, "Did you know about the guy with the white van? How'd you know about the white van that took my family member?" Like, my God. That's when we go into the Florida drug dealers. Okay. They did tell people they were drug traders. Okay. And then we go through different stuff of, well, they said they were this. And she's like, "No, they said," I said, "Well, they said they were gentlemen's club from Florida." "Well, they said they were the Detroit boys." Okay. When they were away from here, the Florida group said they worked for Judge Pete. But then people try to say he was from the Ravenna courthouse. No, they're from Florida. They work for Judge Pete. They wouldn't work for somebody from Ravenna. I was from Ravenna. So, what retired Judge Pete was in Florida? A human trafficker. His name was Peters. Where they braked in the mall, they were relocating people to Florida to like a resort area. It was Disney. In 22, there was a retired Judge Peters in it with some people from Disney, and 108 people went to jail for human trafficking. They were up here scouting for people to sell down there. There was a pipeline, if you look up the articles, from Florida, Louisiana to Texas. They were selling people. They were coming up here scouting to grab people to sell down there. You have to do a little research, listen to what they say, and then there's real people. They said there was a prince from Africa that was taking out money to help people, pay for people to protect me, and asking people to. There was a guy arrested impersonating a prince from Africa, extorting money out of people. He went to jail off this. Then, for we all work for the king from Texas, we are his men. Dave hired us. He's a drug lord. You look up the king from Texas. That's a drug lord. He's a U.S. military Iraqi translator. Went into the dark web malware fentanyl king. He's a real person. That's where the Middle Eastern men showed up, the lady in hijabs. And those people actually ended up turning on Dave when they found out they were being lied to and manipulated. A lot of their people went to jail where they were trying to say all this stuff. Oh, that family was grieving, when they found out they weren't grieving. It had nothing to do with their kid's death. And they were lying to people to get them to participate. Yeah. I'll tell you what. You would have lied to the real mafia, not just the drug cartels, you wouldn't live long. So a lot of like the fentanyl king's men, a lot of them turn on Dave, the ones he hired. Still seeing some stalking me the other day. Right after Dave fled the country on Thanksgiving, November 21st, 23, I was up in Bueller's North, Maine, and this little Middle Eastern kid had black hair, dark eyes. He looked at me, smiled great big. It's finally got funny. It's actually got funny. Dave's gone forever, and no one can say a word to Karen. His dad, the dark hair, the olive skin, the black beard, the king told his men if they see her out, they better make sure nothing happens to her. They turned on Dave. See, that's what a retired sheriff's wife, or a sheriff's wife that I met her in the park, said they would turn on him for the men going to jail. Law don't do its job with you. They will turn on them. Because no matter how much money they give them, their men went to jail. It wasn't worth it. Okay. So we're going to go forward. But it's such a hot mess. Um, they said there was drug lords fighting over this area. Okay. I was up in Hartville. This one guy had adopted one of the human traffickers' kids. Got to talking to him, how Max got messed up in there. He was like, well, did you ever see a tall white guy with whitish blonde hair, clean cut, our age, which would have been 50 to 60, thin, expensive dress shirts, sleeves rolled up, expensive dress pants? I'm like, yes. He grabs his chest. You've seen him in your life? Yes, I've seen him several times. You've seen him in your life? Yes. You don't know who that is. And he's like, that was the Russian drug lord selling people in this area. And then we go back and forth, back and forth. He said how he adopted one of the human traffickers' babies because that mother's not going to get out of jail. And it's like, that was nice of you. Okay, and then a bunch of men started walking around. He's like, I gotta get back inside. There was a major Russian drug lord that was arrested in 24 out of Ohio. But when I looked him up, it wasn't the one that I seen around me. So there's another one. They got major people off this case. Major people. After the U.S. Marshals left on January 20th, 23, they did an 800 people sweep where they said they were going to take care of them. They blew the hell out of them. The drug cartel showed up April, 14th, 23 in Harville. Fulfill used your case to infiltrate our gang. Tell them to give you your money. We're out of here. Till the cops walked by, we actually did and laughed at them. I hate being monkey in the middle. Been that way for 6 years. Where everybody beats on the monkey. Okay. Then they did 160 people arrest in Summit County last year. The marshals found, 35, 45 kids in Akron. They found like 70 more people in Columbus. They did another 130 people out of Columbus arrested in human trafficking. They have been blowing the hell out of these people. Where the police have came up to me, you need to be proud of what you lived through. Because of what you lived through, you helped save a lot of lives. We got all this information on these people. You need to be proud of what you lived through. My neighbor seen the drug cartel impersonate the FBI at Faith Family Church. And he went down, talked to him, met one of the guys. They actually saved his life off my case. In May of 24, I was in Myers, North Maine, in North Canton. Lady came in. We talked to the police that work her case. They said it's ridiculous for anybody to ever insult her. Okay? She almost died to save children. They always knew the weird with yourself was a shower scene in the other room of washing that they had photoshopped it. And they had drugged her and told her to say it before. It was a backup plan. If she didn't die, they already knew all this. And she's almost died to save children. And that's ridiculous for anyone to ever insult her. I go to leave, people are saying outside. The police had told people she almost died to save children. And they knew that Weird With Yourself was, always knew it was photoshopped of showering and washing. And they drugged her and told her to say it before. Tell everyone not to say a word. See, they've told people that since the beginning of the case. They already knew and always knew. I had cops last year in a restaurant giggling. That Weird With Yourself, we always knew it was photoshopping or washing. We could tell that. It's Photoshop of showering. And the guy's like, you can't, it's not even funny. You can tell she was drugged when they drugged her and told her to say it before. I never seen her talk to anybody. I never had anybody in my home, and I don't find it funny. Sexual predators playing with me like that. It's quite horrifying of people you've never seen know hurt you like that and not know what happened to you. Where on earth would you find it funny? Where would you find it funny? I never seen her talk to anybody. People breaking my home and doing those things to me, it's not funny. Nor do I want to hear about it. Now, Officer Marker John, I need you to go to the U.S. Marshals. Make sure they know that they lied to him. The U.S. Marshals, that they lied to him. The shower scene in the other room. That it is a shower scene of washing. That other agent lied to him. And that you have that other agent taped that he let all this happen because he thought I threatened his daughter. And he's now in it with the drug cartel. He was no longer with FBI within 4 months, and now he's running with the cartel. And then there's common sense. If I've never laid my eyes on him, how the hell would I know who his teenage daughter is? And that other guy, and he stole my money. If my money is not in that file, in that card, which if you go get it, I appreciate it. Because it's like the prosecutor's office, even criminal attorney and the police I talk to, you don't have authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. You don't have the authority to withhold someone's money. It's for working the case. Like those other ones on that TV show where they were running through their cases of their informants. People just even set up meetings with people and they take care of them the rest of their life. Let alone I lived through hell. It's for working the case and only for working the case. And he can't make up restrictions, and it's not in the court order. That one agent wasn't with the FBI 4 months later. If he took my money, they got him for stealing from the government. He didn't steal my money. I didn't get it. They still owe it to me. He stole it straight from the government. I never got it. They still owe me. If you would have a talk with the U.S. Marshals about going over there and getting the original file, and if that card's in there, if you bring it to me, I'd appreciate it. I probably do need an ID. The drug cartel has a login to the case where they said Wilson log into the case. He's making for $25 a pop. He found a way of making more money off the case. Announced at Walmart. Remember, you guys taped him in 18. It's the agent that opened my case that told on me. The one that admitted he did it because he thought I threatened his daughter and found out I didn't know who she was. And he admitted he's in it with the drug dealers. He's become a terrorist. Now, he either stole the government funds and they need to get him, or my money is still there. They still need to get him. He's in it with the drug cartel now. And that other agent flat out lying to him. And he flat out lied to the U.S. Marshals. This all needs to get stopped and be fixed. Like some guy said, we all know she's an FBI informant. People wonder why people are driving around making fun of her. I'd like to know why you're making fun of me too. I do too. You know, last night when I was at Bob Evans with my brother and my boyfriend, People are on the other side of the divider. They're saying all kinds of crazy crap. But they said some guy named Will is trying to, and it's probably the agent that opened my case, is still trying to help people get away with crimes. And he's no longer an agent. Hasn't been an agent for 4 months after my case started. He was no longer with the FBI. He's the one that said he let all this happen because he thought I threatened his daughter. Then there's common sense. Where the hell would I know her? I never laid my eyes on him until December 18th, 24, so how the hell would I know who his daughter is? And then I didn't even believe her. I didn't know it was his daughter. And I never caught Dave with anybody, so there was never anyone to threaten. And he's supposed to be dating one of these illegitimate daughters that Michelle and Lauren are saying they were that lady that used my insurance. That's really not funny. None of this is funny. And the scenarios of it is not funny. But I need somebody to fix this shit. And guys, I really need you to go down there and have a talk with him. You guys always knew that it was photoshopped or showering. Washing yourself in the shower, and that they had drugged me and told me to say it before. It was a drug scam from drug dealers, and it was drug dealers doing it. They lied to people. They had special permission from the courts. No, they didn't. The courts didn't know anything about it. Nor did the sheriffs or the police up there. And what you did is highly illegal. They're federal crimes. Illegal monitoring is a federal crime. Cyber stalking, sextortion, racketeering, drugs, rape, threats, trying to extort money. Photoshopping naked pictures. Oh, then they got you idiots for kiddie porn and little kids going potty. Human trafficking, rape, attempted murder. You got life in federal. You put your name on it, you got life in federal. For the crimes you confessed you did. Like people said, and when you listen to actually what these people did, you don't think about what they did till you actually listen to her. Then it's really not funny. Where did you find it funny in the first place? I'm going to upload this, but if you go to the U.S. Marshals, explain to them how that other agent flat out lied to him. If he didn't tell them that they were lying, they were just trying to help push the scam so they could get those people. They need to address it with that agent that's lying. He can't go around spreading a drug cartel rumor and a drug cartel scam. And it was documented and verified by Officer Mark that it was a drug cartel in my home before, and I'm framed by the drug cartel. And if you take care of it, I appreciate it. And then have them go check that file for that card. If it is in there, if you bring it to me, I appreciate it. But if not, that former agent that said he did it for his daughter, he embezzled government funds straight from the government and took my card with my money on it and left. He may have stolen more. That's how not funny it is. He's the one where they said Will's selling login. He's selling government technology to the cartels. He's very dangerous. He looks like an extreme terrorist. Okay? But if he's just doing this to fool all of them, boy, my God, he fooled all of them into confessing under police surveillance. Can you step in and help? I'd appreciate it.